Hey guys, and welcome back! Today we are creating this custom acrylic sign with metal leaf and matching gold copper stand. This signage set was for a fun and eclectic wedding, complete with disco ball centerpieces. The supplies I'm using are all linked in the video description, along with a discount for the fonts used today. So this happens to be one of my more popular fonts that couples choose, so I actually have other tutorials showing how to design this exact sign on Cricut Design Space, so I will link those below in the video description as well. So I already have the lettering on this sign. I have it flipped upside down, so the vinyl lettering is going to be on the front, facing down, and I am adding the metal leaf and the paint on the back side. A few tips working with metal leaf: it is super easy to use, but it is also super messy. So I lock my cat Shotzi out of the room so she doesn't spread it all over the house. And also there are lots of specialty glues for metal leaf, but most have a waiting period after you apply the glue until you can apply the metal leaf. So I just like using a cheap clear glue stick. So I just take my little sponge and I get some of the glue on the tip of that, and then I dab that in the place that I want my metal leaf to be. So I'm not doing this directly behind any of the lettering. I'm kind of doing it around it since it is the same color as the lettering. I just wanted there to be space between the two. Now that my metal leaf is all in place, I take a brush and I burnish the metal leaf to the glue. So I am getting rid of all of the excess metal leaf that is not glued down, and then also the part that is glued down. Whenever you do this, it kind of creates this really cool antique look on the metal leaf. So I always do this part and then I give it a really good clean. So I take my handheld vacuum and I get all of the excess metal leaf off that I can. And then after that, I go over with a duster just to help get all of the tiny little pieces off that are around. I do the same with the rest of my signage set, and with these smaller signs I am able to do a couple of them at a time. So I will add my glue on like 2 or 3 of the table numbers and then add my metal leaf. The glue stick does dry pretty fast though, so just keep that in mind as you're working through this. This metal leaf comes in several different colors, so I'm using gold to match my gold lettering, but on my copper signs, whenever I have copper lettering, then I will match the metal leaf with the copper metal leaf. Whenever I am using white lettering, the gold and the copper both look great, but just kind of matching that with the stand as well, just to kind of make sure nothing clashes, because sometimes whenever I have a sign with gold lettering on the copper stand, it does clash. So we did spray paint this one. I didn't film that part, but I'm actually planning on that. I'm just in Colorado and it's super cold right now, but I do have that on my list of tutorials to make. But it was super easy to spray paint the copper stand. I already had my copper stand already cut, and then I just did a couple of super thin layers of gold metallic paint. I will actually link the paint that I used down below as well. But I did a couple of super thin layers of that paint, and I thought it turned out awesome. It looks great in photos and matches the lettering. The paints that I'm using for the backside of the acrylics actually come in a set of 30 from Amazon, so it's a full set of just all different colors, but the ones I am using are white, gray, sienna, and olive drab. The first layer is a mix of white and gray, so I'm kind of creating this super light gray layer, and I'm being pretty sparse with it. I've been using a large sponge to apply that. And I don't want to cover the whole thing because I'm going to go in on my next layers and start adding a little bit of the color in. So this is that sienna color. It's kind of like a rust color, but whenever I mix it with the white, it kind of comes out to this super, super light, almost coral color. And I just start adding that in on some of the gray and then even on some of the space in between, just so that color's popping through, but I also didn't want it to totally like overpower these signs. I then did the same thing with the green. This is called Olive Drab from the set. I mixed that in with the white just to get it kind of like an off-white with a green tint. Like I said, I didn't want any of the colors to be super overpowering, but we also wanted the colors to show through, and she wanted the signage to be like different than anything I have ever done. And so that's kind of why we decided on the 2-color mixed with the gray, and then also adding in the gold metal leaf. And then for the final layer, I am just adding a little bit more of the gray, and this is after everything else is completely dried. So in between each layer, I give it maybe like 10-15 minutes, and keep in mind I'm in Colorado where it is super dry, but in between each layer, I do let that dry. And then for the final layer is this kind of darker gray, super texturized, just to kind of even everything out. I continue with the rest of my signage and let everything dry overnight. If you're making signage for your own wedding or starting a business, check out the Creative Fabrica monthly subscription. I have my discount code linked down below. I think you get like 30% off of the monthly subscription, which includes thousands of fonts and graphics, which makes designing these signs so much easier. So make sure to check that out, and I also link some other tutorials that I think you might be interested in. Thank you so much for watching this video and being here supporting my channel. Let me know any questions that you have down in the comment section, and I will see you again soon.